Hello and welcome to our supplemental recording for forms and data validation. In this recording, we're gonna look at how we can first of all, create some constraints to validate the data input into Access form. And then we're gonna go over building a drop-down box that will limit the user input from from free text to specific options. If you recall from the class session, the objectives that we had were to create company name, address, city, zip code, essentially a few fields that would not be that cannot be entered left blank. Some data has to be entered, no null values. We also wanted to come up with some sort of choices for state and country options. So this is what we're going to do in this session. So I have my database open on the right. It's the same database we've built during the last class. So I'm going to open the form. All right, and I actually have some data in there as well. Okay, great. But what I need right now is the table. And in the table, we are going to go into design view. All right. So in the design view, I have my fields, and what I will need, I will basically need to work with the properties. So for the auto number, I don't need to do much. That field is already automatically required. But I'm going to go through all of the fields indicated on the slide. So company name is the first, and I'm going to highlight it. So once I highlight it, you can see that there are a couple of properties that I can work with. So there is a validation rule, right? And once I click on it, there's like a little extension button, sort of like a dash. So click on that button. If you recall from this slide, the is not null is what we're looking for. Well, it's not in this slide, my apologies. But basically, is null is we need something that's in reverse to the is null, right? So is not null is the statement that we're looking for. Okay. So we're going to type is not. And then for the null, we're going to be looking up that value. So we're going to look into constraints. We're going to select all, and we're going to double click on null. Right. All right, so we got that statement in, and now we need some text that will that will inform the user in case he's trying to violate this constraint, right? So this field cannot be blank. All right, let's save this. Data integrity rules have been changed. Existing data may not be valid for the new rules. So what does that mean? The process may take a long time. They want existing data to be tested with the new rules. So what does that mean? So that basically is telling, Access is telling us that there is some data in the database already, and it doesn't know whether it violates that new constraint, which is that field cannot be left blank. So in other words, there might be a record where the company name is blank already, and it's telling me you're just putting this field in, requiring it to always have data. So what do you want me to do with the records that are already there? Do you want me to check on them? And it says here that the process if you want to go that route, it's going to take a long time. Or you just want to proceed. In this case, I'll select no. In my case, we don't have too much data, so it's not going to take a lot of time. But in my case, I'll just say no, because I know that the company name is there, so that's fine. All right, so it saved the data. So now, if we go back here, let me actually close and save and close it. So now, if we go back here and we try to enter a new record, right, with no company name, because remember we had that company name under the constraint of not being blank. This field cannot be left blank. We're getting the alert message that this field cannot be left blank, and that's exactly what we inputted into the properties. All right, great. So it's working. So now I'm going to actually I need to restore it so it would let me actually close it. All right, so now we're going to do that for every field that specified in the slide on the left side. So we already got a company name. So next we're gonna do the address. Oh, we don't even have address. I didn't even notice, but that's okay. I mean, not a big deal. We know that you know that you had to have address, obviously, in your just in case you need to insert a new field. I'm just gonna insert it here. Put address. I'm not going to change anything on the form that I've already created, but just so you know, you could. All you need to do is just to add a new field and then connect it to this field in the table. All right, so with the address, we're also going to create a validation rule is not null. I may enter comma or right, and again the same text. This field cannot be blank. City, phone number, and you know what? I'll just copy. I'll just copy this message because it takes a bit to type it in. So I'll just copy. Oops. Okay. Microsoft doesn't like it. All right, I'm just gonna have to type it all out. That's fine. So I got the city. Next one is phone number. Look, it did copy it, but it gave me a few errors, but it did copy it, so now I can just paste it back in. Fax number. This streamlines my work a little bit. And the website. Now, the website is a little bit tricky. You know, not all believe it or not, but not all, especially in the small businesses, not all small businesses have their website, but I would say 99.9 of them do. So we'll just make this field not null. Same message here. Let's actually go ahead and run it this time. It shouldn't take. Okay, so here it says existing data violates the new setting for the validation rule property of the field address. If you recall, we just inserted the new address, right? So, and we didn't put any values in it. So this field is blank. And basically Access checked on it and it says that, hey, you created the rule, the constraint that this field cannot be blank, and it is blank in the previous record. what do you want me to do? So do you want to keep testing? Do you want to revert to the old settings? Click no. To stop testing, click cancel. I want to keep the new settings. That's fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some address to to keep the everything in check. I'm gonna save this. In fact, let's actually add the go to design view, and I'll have to increase this a little bit. So I'm gonna create the address here, right? And a little label here. All right, so here we need to tie it to another form properties. So here we need to tie this to the data in the table company data, right? Because we do have address in there now. So all right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to bound this field to the so what I did, I basically I'm going to right click and select properties. Selected. All right. So in the control source and the field of the property, and control is basically this text field that we created. I'm gonna click on drop down box because it already tied the whole form tied to the table, so I don't need to select the table. And I'm gonna click on the address, right? So then I'm gonna close this, save it, and look in the view form, right? So I have this field here, that's great, and I probably need to delete this. Let's actually do this. Let's change this to address and delete this one because this label is naturally tied to the control that we created, and it will be better. All right. So the address is going to be 1 Microsoft Way. Click submit. And we got it in. Great.